Good seeing you, kid.
First of all, we'd like to welcome everybody to Calhoun County. Of course, this looks like everybody is Calhoun County here. So good seeing all of y'all today. Seems that it warmed up just a hair. We're going to get ready to start this thing off. Firstly, we'll give you the invocation. I'll do that. Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour, asking for your blessings and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with the spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desired ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excel. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and further and to be the best we can be. We ask this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. I think we all know the occasion we're here for today. We can see it. I mean, one time we could not stand here and see cars physically pass over there. And people coming through could not see our beautiful courthouse. I'd like to give the AME Church down there, that is a beautiful building that they have down there. We can see all these good sights as we come through and see our town. We appreciate what has happened to make this possible. We see what can happen when the county, the city, and the state coordinate together what good things we can do. Personally, I thank Representative Ott. And he's followed right in his father's footsteps. I mean, he's been a good ambassador for Calhoun County. So Russell, we appreciate what you've done. This stuff could possibly not have been possible without him. Everybody has pitched in and helped, but the money is the first thing to me. Is you got to have the money, and he provided that. So we want to again say thank you for that. I'm not going to stay up here and talk all day because we have several more people that probably getting on some of you all's dinner time. We're going to have to talk all day. So right now, I'm going to say again, thank all of you for what you do, because most people out here are county people, and we appreciate what you all do. So again, thank you. Again, Russell. Thanks a lot. I think I had to forget something. I would like to recognize all the elected officials. All elected officials, please stand. Raise your hands. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. James. Can anybody hear me? Get back there. Okay. Certainly, thank you for coming. We do appreciate you coming out. I know it's a little cool. It's actually warmed up from earlier this morning, but we're not going to be long with this. I think the bottom line is here we're here to thank our representative for coming back for us. Many times in my close to 2 years now here, he's come to bat. He's never not answered the call, so I want to start that way. A little history. First week on the job, I got approached by several citizens about let's do something with taking these trees down in the railroad cut. Right behind me here in this block, we've got about $3.5 million that we spent on renovating the courthouse, the work that we've done to the library, the annex building, EMS. We've got Public Works, a new Public Works building now, and so certainly we wanted to be able to showcase this along with everything else down the stretch. So this territory runs between the Piggly Wiggly and Depot Street, and we took out the trees to be able to ultimately control our own destiny, to be able to maintain this railroad cut every year from here on out, so we don't have that growth come back up. With the overgrowth, certainly the citizens, visitors entering the town on 601, all you could see was vines, ivy, and trees. And I think it speaks for itself if you come into the town. And this is our county seat. We've got to all be proud about how it looks. I appreciate the town and what they've done in the streetscape, Milton, and the mayor and town council, what you've done with streetscape and trying to clean up along Main Street here. Norfolk-Southern. So originally, 2 years ago, I approached them and they did not have this stretch of rail on their maintenance system. Pretty much the way it works with Norfolk-Southern is that unless there's problems, unless there's trees coming down, unless there's erosion, they don't address it. They ride through and look at it from time to time, but it really doesn't get addressed to this full degree. This process has taken almost 20 months from the date of applying until we received the permit from Norfolk-Southern. Now, certainly that was during COVID times. That's understandable, but with Norfolk-Southern and pushing on them, certainly I think we're fortunate in COVID times to be able to get that done. When we hit a roadblock, the man I called was Russell, and he made a few phone calls. He got things going again, and so honestly, without him, we'd still be looking at trees. Well, we wouldn't be here making this announcement, but we'd still be seeing trees throughout town here blocking off the visibility of what we've got to offer. Norfolk-Southern gave us the approval, gave us the permit. The one thing that I didn't want is to be able to mulch and cut without the permissions to maintain it every year. So ultimately, the county has received the approval to maintain it every year. We'll spray it every year. We'll also inspect it with our Public Works Department to make sure that there's no erosion coming from the stumps, because that's the biggest concern from Norfolk-Southern. And the town and the county will go together with that maintenance plan, both for the responsibility as well as the actual cost incurred for that. So I appreciate that collaboration. I do just want to say, before I thank a few people here, I've had a few stops in my career, and there's no doubt with the political influences that have been in my life that we've got a strong representative, and you don't realize it until it's gone. You really don't. Russell answers the call. He's always open-minded to seeing things from all directions, and so I appreciate that, Russell. I appreciate you looking out for us in that way. I want to thank County Council to start off with for letting us endeavor this and take this on. It's a partnership. We've all got to do it. I think the staff that are sitting here, they realize that we're all Calhoun County, whether it's St. Matthews, Cameron, Sandy Run, Fort Mott, Lone Star, it doesn't matter. We're all Calhoun County. Norfolk-Southern, I want to thank them certainly, because if they wouldn't have worked with us and given us the ability and the right and the permit to do what we did, we wouldn't be here. DOT, thank you. The regional, the St. Matthews office. I thank you both. Public Works, Cody, his guys, Ron with litter, Mark with project management, thank you. Because certainly, Richard and I have these ideas and these dreams, but without staff to see them through, they don't happen. So certainly I appreciate everybody doing that. And then the contractor, Whack 'em and Stack 'em. They are a contractor for the state. I know it sounds a little funny in their name, but they're a solid group. They came in here, thought it was going to be somewhere in the 10 to 14 day time frame to get this done, and we were done within 8 days. But they were in here. We got good weather. We had Norfolk-Southern inspect us 3 times during this process, and all was well. So I do appreciate them. I don't see them here now, but I do appreciate them being here. With that, Mayor, I'm going to let you get up and say a few words, if you don't mind, please, ma'am.
I'm going to apologize for where you see me sitting this morning, and this is pretty inexcusable. Everybody knows I like to get up and just kind of be speaking to people and looking at them. That gives me kind of a peace and joy to do that, and I apologize for where I'm sitting this morning, but because of health reasons, I find that I can't do any better than I'm doing. And I want to say good morning to all of you, to the citizens of St. Matthews, of Calhoun County. Thank you all. I join them in saying thank you all for coming out this morning and being with us. I can tell you that I probably can't find words to express how I feel about what has been done to our railroad corridor here in St. Matthews. something, a little spin to this a little bit. I had been away from St. Matthews for several weeks because of health reasons. And then I had my son to pick me up and bring me back into town. And that day when I drove down 601 and came into St. Matthews, I started to ask him, you know, does he quite know where he's going? Are we in the right place? All I could see was beauty and cleanliness. I didn't know where I was. And as we drove along, I didn't say anything because I said, my God, I've just gotten out. I don't want them to think I need to be committed or something, so I'm not going to say anything else. But I can just tell you the place was just beautiful, just pristine and beautiful. All of the shrubbery, the undercuts and all of the weeds and debris, everything had been cut away, and this was just absolutely beautiful. And I can say that, you know, so many of the times we talk about what will we do in St. Matthews to make this a beautiful place to work, live, and to play for everyone. And how do we toot our horn when we have persons who are looking to come to St. Matthews to either work, live, or play? And this is one more feather that we can put in our caps. We have a really, really gorgeous place that we can shout about. And as I drove along here for the first time, or it may not have been the first time, but I could clearly see the courthouse. I've had so many people come and say, yeah, well, where's the courthouse? And when I tell them, sometimes they come right back to me and say, oh, I couldn't find it. But you can find it now, even across on 601. And as I said, this is truly immeasurable. And thank you all so much for what has been done. The first off, I'd like to thank and give all gratefulness to Representative Ott for all of his hard work and seeing this project completely through. We thank you for what you've done. You're always with us, and we know that. You have an open door policy, and we can never forget you for that. So again, we thank you for all that you've done. I'd like to also thank the members of the County Council. First of all, our chairman of County Council, Mr. Hagler, along with the other members of the County Council. Thank you all for your tireless work. I know it hasn't been easy every single time, you know, that you come around the table to discuss this, but look what has happened. And I'm an advocate of people working together and collaboration. This is what can happen when you have the city, the town, or city. I like to say city all the time. I don't want anybody to think I'm a city girl, but I use the word city all the time. But the town, the state, and the county working together to make things work. This is what can happen. This is just simply beautiful. And as I said, it's something that we can look at every single. I just get joy coming across that bridge and just looking back over here. And it's already been mentioned that Bethlehem Church was one of the things that I looked at when I came out of the Piggly Wiggly parking lot, when I was lucky enough to get a ride to get down there. And then I saw the beauty of that church. It seems like I'd never seen it before. If Representative Ott, if there was a band here this morning, I probably would ask them for a drum roll, if there was, for what has been done here this morning. This is simply beautiful. And again, I thank you all for allowing me this time. I apologize for my having to sit as I am, but I'm grateful to be here and be a part of this. Thank you so much.
Helen, I certainly understand your wanting to sit. I'm not far behind you. But that being said, I feel odd with this thing talking back to me. Let me just say that I'm pretty much a lifelong resident of Calhoun County. I've lived here since 1955, and I've traveled all over the United States. And God created a great earth, okay? Created a great earth. He put us here to be good stewards of what he created. And in order to do that, it does take work. And certainly I'm glad that we are able as county council to work with Representative Ott in bringing this to fruition, to get the beauty that we have here. And like I say, I feel like I live in about as good a place as you can, about as pretty a place as you can live on God's green earth. So it's up to us to keep it looking that way. And certainly, Calhoun County, one of the reasons I'm on council, by the way, some of you may not know, my name is Ken Westbury, and I am the vice chairman of council, and I appreciate Chairman Hagler putting me up here in front of y'all kind of in the last minute, but at the same time. That being said, I have given a lot of thought to why I'm on county council, and I'm representing the seat that was Mayor Carson's seat before she moved to town. So anyhow, Russell, I can't say enough about the importance that it is for us to have a resident representative in our state legislature, in our council. In our county, that lives here, that grew up here, that understands all the needs and changes that we're going through here. And Russell's young, I'm old, and certainly I look forward to having him represent us for a long time to come. And the reason is, this county is going through numerous changes. And we're seeing them coming on the upper end of the county, particularly now, and now starting down around the lake. We're becoming more of an industrial, commercial development areas, but we're also seeing household units being built in places that were nothing but frontier for Calhoun County's sake. And Russell, being born on and working on the farm and still being in the farming industry, he understands our agrarian side, but he sees what's coming to us, and he realizes the importance of us to have a nice seat of government here in our county in order to attract and serve those individuals and those industries and stuff that are looking to come here. We've got to be good stewards of what we were given. And in order to do that, like it's been alluded to before, it does require help from the outside. We do send money to the state, and it's nice to be able to rely on getting some of that money back sometime to help us out with some of these projects. Russell, I can't tell you enough how great it's been to work with you on all the projects that you and I have talked about from time to time. Russell, if the ones of you who don't have occasion to talk with him, it's amazing to me the times that I will talk with Russell and I say, you might not have heard of this yet, and he'll know everything about what I'm getting ready to tell him just because he stays on top of what's happening in Calhoun County. So once again, thank y'all for being here. I really enjoyed coming out to things like this in our county. It's very important to us in our development and maintaining our lifestyle. The way we don't want to give up a lot of what we have, but at the same time we want to incorporate those things, and that interface between the industrial, the commercial, and the residential with the agrarians that we've had in the past and the wilder areas. We don't want to give all that up, but at the same time we want to do a good interface with it. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
I think it's still morning. Can you hear me? I don't know if it's on, but if not, I'll speak loud. I feel kind of uncomfortable. I appreciate all the kind words. I can tell you that my mother would be very proud and my father would be very skeptical that were said today, but it's just great to be here. And what I like to tell everyone is the heartbeat of South Carolina, because I think that's where we live. We live in the heart of South Carolina, Calhoun County and St. Matthews. You name all of our other communities, Sandy Run, Cameron, all of the ones that have been named. Just so proud of each and every one of you, proud to be able to call this my home. Y'all know that feeling when you come out of the barber shop, you got that fresh haircut, or ladies that have come out of the salon and you're looking all beautiful. You just have that sense of pride and you're feeling good. Well, that's kind of what I relate this to. This maintenance that we have done here in the middle of downtown St. Matthews, in the middle of Calhoun County with the railroad. It's a long time coming. I can't tell you how many folks I've talked to over the years that have said this was so greatly needed, and I can't tell you how many phone calls I've received since the work's been done about people just being proud. And so as much as I appreciate all of the very kind words that were said today by all of our other elected officials, this was a team effort. This was certainly a collaboration of everyone that is here today. So that's why we're celebrating. I can assure you that when anything gets done, it's never the result of one person, ever. And we are very blessed to be able to have a lot of hard-working, dedicated folks in this county, and also in this town, and I'm looking at them. I can go right down the list. I'm scared I'll always miss someone, but from our sheriff to our librarian to our county council, congratulations, by the way, to our new chairman and vice chair, Mayor Carson Peterson. Just thank you for all that y'all do. Milton, the town administrator, John, all of our first responders, all of it. And then at the end of the day, just the citizens. It's just fantastic to be able to stand here and celebrate one of many accomplishments. And that's all this is, one of many accomplishments. But at the end of the day, we have a very bright future, and we have to start promoting ourselves. One of the things I love about folks from the country, from where we are, we're a humble group of people. But what I have learned is that if you don't promote yourself, no one else will. And if you don't talk about your accomplishments, a lot of times no one else will for you. And so that is what we're kind of here to do today, is to just talk about one small accomplishment that we all worked on together to bring to fruition. So it's kind of ironic that the train's coming through, but it's fantastic. And I, like John, want to thank Norfolk-Southern. It's not just in Calhoun County, Gene. In Orangeburg, we've been dealing with a lot of issues with the railroad in Orangeburg as well. We've made a lot of improvements around South Carolina State University by working with the railroad. A lot of times, they're not the easiest group to work with. Sometimes I feel like they're their own branch of government. And they don't always have to really move when you ask them to move. So it takes a level of persistence, and sometimes it takes trying to figure out what buttons need to be pushed to get them to give the attention that we need them to give. You would think that it wouldn't be that hard to get folks to come in here and just cut the underbrush on a railroad right away. You know what I mean? A lot of people might be sitting out there saying, why is this such a big deal? All you did is go in there and cut down some old trees and bushes and vines, but when you deal with the railroad, it takes a little persistence, and so it was not as easy a task as everyone would like to think that it should be. Now we can relate that to a lot of other things. There's a lot of things out there that should be a lot easier than they actually are. But nevertheless, we continue to persevere. We got the permit, like John said, to come in and do the maintenance, and now we have a lease in place that through a partnership with the county and the town will continue to maintain the railroad right away. So I'm excited, Mayor, for the warmer weather to kind of make its way here. I'm excited to see when everything starts blooming what the railroad's going to look like. But at the end of the day, we have opened up a section of St. Matthews and Calhoun County for everybody to see and to be very proud of. And what, don't have to get into the specifics, but what I do feel very proud of is that we are getting what we deserve from the state of South Carolina. That's a big deal. Going back again to having to kind of step forward and make sure that your voice is heard. A lot of times, there's a lot of funding requests, I can assure you of that. And, a lot of people always have opinions about government spending, I can assure you of that. I hear about them all the time. I hear from all kinds of different people about, well, you're spending too much or you're not spending enough. And there's very, very few times where people tend to agree in that respect, but I can assure you that everyone has things that are important to them. Whether it's funding our magistrate courts, whether it's funding VNR, whether it's funding the Department of Transportation, public education. I can go down the whole list. It runs the gamut. What might be important to one person is not necessarily as important to someone else, right? But at the end of the day, I take very seriously You know, the hardworking people of Calhoun County, Orangeburg County, and Lexington County. I understand very intimately that no one likes paying taxes, but it's always a necessity. But what we like to see is that we get a return on our investment. You know, we want to be able to see that when the city, the county, or the state request of me my hard-earned dollars, that I'm seeing a benefit when I give that to them. So, you know, I hope that this is just a small reflection of that. You know, we have to continue to stay vigilant. You know, we're here celebrating, but at the end of the day, we have so much more work to be done in this region. Proud of the efforts that have been made to continue to attract high-paying jobs. We are in a unique place with a unique opportunity. So I'm just glad that I could play a very small role in this process. Can't tell you how much I appreciate and how proud I am of being able to say that I'm a representative for District 93 and each and every one of you. But at the end of the day, we all have our roles to play. I'm no more important than anyone else here today or anyone else in general. So just thank you for that opportunity. Thank you all for coming out. I know we're cold, so I'm gonna shut up now, and we can all visit and socialize with each other, but continue to stay safe. You know, we've been through a lot of hard times over the course of the last 2 years, but I hope that we're starting to come out of it. But I do know one thing, together we can get through anything. So thank you all for being here. So great to see you. Look forward to continuing the work that we're doing. Thank y'all. Gene, thank you for being here. With the Times the Democrat asked where the money's coming from. And so, you know, that is one thing that I left off. You know, again, that goes back to that commitment and that collaboration. What John didn't say was that, you know, this was a time-sensitive issue. You know, we appreciate the contractor, but at the end of the day, if we weren't able to move when we moved and get the work done when we got the work done, the price was probably going to double, at least double. You know, there's a lot of contractors out there that are doing a lot of work, and this contractor that we used is no different. And so we had a very small window of opportunity to be able to get the work done at the price that was able to be negotiated. So because we all worked so well together, you know, I was able to go and get some commitments from some of my colleagues. We were able to know that the state was going to be able to come forward and put forth the resources, while at the same time the county was going to be able to put that more money forward when it was needed right now to get the work done. So, you know, I can assure you that that doesn't happen all across the state, but at the end of the day, we have commitments in place from the state, and we were able to work together with the local governments to make it happen.